The only way to figure out what it is that you want out of life is by navigating all of the things that you don't want in life. Greetings, beautiful beings. Welcome back to my channel, Rising with Rachel. I am Rachel, and together we rise and talking about all things cosmic and consciousness. Before I get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, as it does help this little human earthly algorithm. As much as I don't want to be a part of that, I do want to be a part of spreading the messages that are so deeply needed to be planted like little seeds in the consciousness of the human collective during this revolutionary time in human history, as we are on the forefront of the greatest spiritual revolution in all of human history. Through the work that we individually do to expand our consciousness, level up our awareness, and implement positive energy onto this planet, we are actually implementing like codes into Earth's crystalline grid system that helps the Earth's frequency raise and therefore help her further embody the fifth dimensional planet that she was always meant to be. And it starts with you and me and our awareness. So let's get into it. Today I want to talk to you about how the contrast in your life creates the clarity in your life. A lot of the times we experience the contrast as something that's negative. But something really great that a friend reminded me today was that resistance is not a bug in the system. It's a feature. The resistance that you feel, the contrast that you feel, is not there to make you suffer. It's not there to make you spiral. It's not there to make you question what is going wrong with your computer and why is it misfiring. But rather, the resistance is a feature in your system to let you know the contrast exists so that you could be aware of the fact that you are out of alignment with who you are, with the things that you're supposed to have, with the relationships that you're supposed to be in, with the thoughts that you're supposed to be thinking. The way that we know what we want in life is by experiencing the things that we don't want in life. How could you know what's in alignment for you if you don't first know what's not in alignment with you? We've all worked those jobs where even at first we might have thought, right, wow, finally a new experience, new people. And at first it feels great. It feels like you're making change. But then all of a sudden you realize, hey, you know what? This isn't for me. And all of a sudden the people are not the greatest. And all of a sudden the job is just not what you envisioned. And you realize, I don't really want to do this again. Maybe you want to be your own boss. You don't want to be somebody else's employee. And the only way that you come to that conclusion is by starting your 30-second job. It's by being in the same position that you once were, where you realize that resistance start to rise and you say, you know what? I'm feeling it again. I'm feeling it. Something within me is not in alignment with this current position, this place, these people. And because of this resistance, I am able to understand that something is not right here on an energetic level. Even if you don't understand consciously where the resistance that you're experiencing is coming from, the resistance existence in itself is a sign that something is not in alignment with the truth of who you are. The contrast is what creates clarity in your life. Now, it's easier to understand these concepts when you are understanding them in relation to external experiences, people, places, things. It's easier for you to know, to come to the conscious awareness when something is not in alignment for you, when it's pretty upfront, right? When you don't get along with the person, it's pretty easy to understand that you're not in alignment with them. When you hate your job, it's pretty easy to understand that you're not in alignment with it. But what happens when you are shown resistance with a new face? What happens when you get a parking ticket, for example, and you're forced to navigate the resistance within? That is, if you know to do the deeper digging there. Now, when you get a parking ticket, what you'll feel is that resistance of anger. You'll feel frustrated. You'll feel all of these lower vibrational feelings around the parking ticket, right? But that resistance is showing you that you are not in alignment with the truth of who you are, because the truth of who you are is a light being that is unconditional love, that is nothing besides acceptance. Truth of who you are knows that you are somebody that is so rich in every sense of the word that you feel safe getting the parking ticket because you know that you'll be able to pay it, right? The resistance that comes up around a parking ticket, especially a lot of the times, is rooted in this fear of not having enough, is based in this lack mentality of, now I have another bill to pay, as if you can't pay it. And maybe it's a real truth that you might not be able to pay that right now, and that resistance is very real for you. But it still shows you more so that you are not in alignment. Because, for example, if maybe you can't actually afford the ticket, then the resistance is around your beliefs around money, or your resistance is just trying to show you something about your thought patterns, your belief systems, your programmings. Because, for example, had you been tapped further into the truth of who you are, which is that being of unconditional love, of acceptance, of knowing that you are abundant and cosmically supported in every which way, then you wouldn't have faced as much emotion around the parking ticket as you did when you first saw it. But the reason that you didn't see the parking ticket and say, oh my God, amazing, I got a parking ticket, this is the greatest thing ever, this is a beautiful sign, is because you are not in alignment with who you are. Not saying that when you get a parking ticket, things have to be all sunshine, happy, and rainbows, but you are less prone to feeling anger, to feeling frustrated, to feeling upset, to feeling any type of way around the ticket other than accepting when you are in that alignment with your truth. When you are out of line with your truth, when you are misaligned with who you are, then you will feel that frustration, those emotions, those lower vibrational experiences will take over, will dominate the truth of who you are, and that frequency will be louder. So this is where I also share with you that the contrast that you experience, the obstacles that you face, are actually invitations for you to step closer into the truth of who you are. Back to my earlier quote that a good friend shared with me today, resistance is not a bug in the system. It's a feature. The resistance is there to let you know that something is out of line here and that you have to get your ducks back in order. The resistance that you might feel in the sense of the parking ticket, sure, you might initially start to place blame and frustration at the cop who gave you the parking ticket, but really it's an invitation for you to ask yourself, where is it that you are not aligned within you? And maybe in this experience, it's just through your emotions and your thought patterns and your belief systems, because maybe all your previous parking tickets were attached to a version of you that did get more angry, that was more out of alignment with the truth of who they were, that was letting that lower vibrational frequency dominate their true frequency, which is that higher vibrational one. So this parking ticket, the resistance that you're experiencing around it in your reality, might actually just be an invitation for you to say, hey, we do know that it's annoying, right? It's absolutely annoying that you got a parking ticket, no doubt about it. And yes, this is now a new fine that you have to pay and another bill that you should potentially be worried about. But where could this actually be an invitation for you to rewrite the script? Where can you address the programmings, the patterns, the belief systems that are existing within you in this now moment that are showing their face in this present time, that you can alchemize, that you can work on, that you can further embody a higher mindset and awareness around this new obstacle that's in your path? Not that this is from a personal example or anything, but this is something that I have been navigating in my own life as recently as today. And that's why this quote was shared with me, that the resistance is not a bug, it is a feature. Something to really anchor in and just let sit in your awareness, because it's easy to get caught up in the bugs. It's easy to notice all of the things that are going wrong and to feel like your computer is misfiring and that things have to be happening that are just incorrect and untrue. But it's all true and it's all happening for you, but you cannot see that message, that medicine, if you are so stuck in the attachment to whatever it is that is also showing up at your door. If you are attached to the contrast, if you're focused on the what is currently happening and all the obstacles that are showing their face, you cannot vibrate at the frequency of the solution. It will stay vibrating at the frequency of the problems, and that will only keep you in that energy of the problems, and it'll keep you in the energy of being frustrated and being upset and being mad and being all the things that are lower vibrational. When you sit back and allow yourself to observe, to cultivate this space between you and whatever the bug in your path is, whatever obstacle you got approaching in your reality, when you take a step back and you say, okay, resistance is not a bug in the system, it's a feature. So what could this possibly mean for me? What feature am I getting to experience right now where this resistance is showing me something about the system that I needed to know, of which I would have not seen or learned about otherwise, unless it was for the fact that this resistance showed its face? When you are in that energy, that's what allows you to vibrate at the frequency of the solution. That's what allows cosmic clarity to be delivered to the frontal lobe of your brain for you to receive the wisdoms and gems and knowledge of why it is that this resistance is showing up in your life and what it is there to teach you personally, what it's there to teach you about your experience, your external reality, what it shows you about your internal one, because, you know, your external reality reality is just a reflection of your internal one, then it gets easier to sift through that contrast because you don't see it as contrast anymore. The only reason that your obstacles have so much power over you, or it seems like they do anyway, is because you give them that power. When you say something is a problem, when you say that whatever is showing you resistance in your life is negative, is a barrier of some sort, then that's exactly what it is. But when you switch your mindset and you say, okay, but how could this be a feature? How could this be actually helping me? Then that's when you start to actually open the floodgates of all of these new creative, higher vibrational thoughts that will literally be given to you from source, universe, God, energy, whatever you want to call it, because you are making yourself receptive to that energy. You are choosing to stand in that frequency and say, my signal that I'm sending out to the universe right now is a signal based on solutions. So the universe is going to send you solutions. But when you're saying, here's my obstacle, this is my obstacle, this obstacle is really frustrating, and you are so focused on the what is and you're focused on the obstacle, then that's exactly what the universe is going to also send you more of, is more things to be frustrated about, more obstacles, because that is the signal you're sending out to the universe. So when you stand in that frequency as seeing your obstacles as an opportunity to level up, if you want to talk about more about seeing your obstacles as opportunities, check out my last video. I'll link here as well as in the description below. And that's when it all starts to change for you. But you need to be the one to take the charge to change your awareness, to expand your own consciousness. Even if it's against all of your beliefs, even if everything in your life is pointing at this is just an obstacle, this is just to make you suffer, I invite you to take a step back from it all, to find your center, to get in your body and realize that these things are happening for you and not to you. That in fact, the contrast is giving you clarity on where it is you need to be going, what it is you need to be doing, who it is that you need to be moving towards. Because again, whatever is in alignment for you, that's waiting for you, you might not even really know about until you figure out what is not in alignment with you. Even just a surface level example, when you think about dating, right? How do you know that you want someone who is a thorough communicator, that's letting you know when they're leaving the house, when they're in the car on the way, how many minutes away they are when they're getting closer? Unless you date the person that has zero communication, that doesn't tell you, that just shows up at your door when you're still doing your hair, doesn't have that communication. You wouldn't know what you needed until you got what you didn't need. You wouldn't know what you wanted until you realized what you didn't want. Contrast creates clarity. And that's a reason that we have to be grateful for it, that we can't take it too seriously, because it's really essentially just a cosmic course correction when you experience resistance. It's trying to get you to align back to the center of the truth of who you are. And the more that you experience the resistance as well, is the capacity of which you are out of alignment with yourself. If you have a easier time getting attached to the resistance, to staying in the lower vibrational energies, then that shows you how much programming that you have in your body, the depth of that density, really, because you should be able to center back to normal relatively quickly. And this is something I'm also learning in my own experience, because surprise, if you couldn't tell, I did indeed get a parking ticket this morning, which is the reason that I started making this video, because after sharing my frustrations with one of my friends, he shared that wisdom with me, which was that resistance is not a bug in the system, it's a feature. Use it. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And I noticed, I was like, this pulled me out of my center so quickly. And after being at a place pretty consistently where I'm okay, I'm actually quite happy, to see me and feel me be pulled out of alignment so quick was quite frustrating. But I just continued to ask myself and go down the wormhole of, where is this resistance coming from? What is it coming around? Who is it attached to? How do I transmute it? And pretty quickly was brought back to my center. And that was not always a truth of mine. I used to have one bad thing happen for me, and then my whole day was just like the whole day just needed to be over because I was frustrated and bothered about this one thing. It's the same experience, if you know, when let's say you really hate your job and you know you have to clock in at 3 p.m. and you wake up at 7 a.m. and you literally can't do a single thing before work because it is so paralyzing to you to do anything before getting in that emotional state. That's where I used to be. I used to be that person that let one thing completely shake them out of center. And it showed me a lot about where I was still letting my power leak, where I was not reclaiming my power. And in today's situation, where I woke up to my third parking ticket of the week, by the way. So if you think that this isn't rough work that I'm navigating, it's definitely frustrating. But I felt the anger. Being aware of the resistance doesn't mean that it feels any greater. You still have to navigate being a human and being pissed off that you now have to pay $300 in parking tickets when you're trying to save for a vacation. But you learn how to let things go more easily and realize that they don't have to take complete control over you or overpower your authentic frequency, which is that higher vibrational frequency of love, understanding, and acceptance, since we are light beings at our core. And today, in this little parking ticket example, it was way easier for me to bounce back to normal. Yes, I had to actively, consciously take some steps. I had to shake, I had to dance, I had to scream a little bit. I had to let go of my emotions, but I also had to let go around my attachment to that parking ticket and to my resistance around the parking ticket and ask myself, where am I being resistant within myself? And I realized that I was being resistant in not allowing myself to alchemize feelings as well, because again, that part of me that would have just been bothered the whole day by the parking ticket, she wanted to hang on to the anger. She wanted to hang on to the frustration of the parking ticket. She didn't want to accept the fact that she has another bill to pay in the midst of all the other bills and the fact that she's trying to save for vacation. But the truth of who I am, because I've been doing the work, because I actively try to be present in my body and to expand my consciousness and to set new awarenesses in and to navigate in different ways and higher vibrational ways than I never have before, that more dominant frequency within me now was able to say, you know what, it's okay, we understand frustrated me, definitely worth being frustrated about, but what if we just let it go? What if we don't have to hang on to it for the rest of the day? What if we can still have a good day even though we woke up to something that was less than pleasing? What if we can use this experience to figure out where the contrast within this moment is creating further clarity? Where can we dig deeper into the resistance and actually find some answers within it? And again, stuff like this is a little harder to navigate because it's not that I'm out of alignment with a person, place, or experience. Like, sure, you can say I was out of alignment with the parking cop that decided to roll through at 3:05 a.m. and give me a parking ticket. But this was really showing me that something within me was out of alignment with my truth. I had to notice that the resistance, the anger, the frustration that I felt around the ticket itself was actually something that I was holding within me that I had to navigate, that I had to take accountability for. If you want to talk about taking accountability and how that'll change your life as well, I'm going to tag this video here as well as down below in the description. That one will change your life. But yeah, when I sat with all of that today, it allowed me to detach from it all, accept things more, and take things a lot less personally, because that's also why we get attached to a lot of our frustrations. We take things very personally, when in reality, it's all just vibrational. And we have to just remove the stories that we place on all the people, places, and things that we experience and just take them for what they are, surface level, and just really turn it all back in. When in doubt, reflect back in. Anytime you feel a type of way about anyone, anything ever, you need to turn that energy back around on you and ask yourself what it's telling you about you, because that is how you get answers to unlock yourself out of the small prisons that you keep yourself in so many ways without even realizing. The resistance is not a bug in the system. It is a feature. The contrast gives you clarity. You will not know what you want in your life without experiencing the things that you do not want. That goes externally as well as internally. Take everything as an opportunity to look deeper within yourself, to step further into the truth of who you are, and use everything in your experience as a tool to further embody your highest self. Because that's what it all is anyway. Just tools to help you further embody your highest self so that you can step into this creator position to reclaim your own power, to reclaim your own energy, and to be the conscious creator of your reality, to choose your vibrational standpoint, to not be shifted by the external people, places, experiences, everything that's happening around you, but rather stand firm in the truth of who you are and let the universe act around you accordingly. It's all here to help you, no matter how hard that is to believe. And that might sound like something you gotta blindly trust, and maybe you do have to blindly trust it until another event happens that further proves to you that the previous thing was actually just for your advancement. Even if that's the case, just blindly believe it. I'm sure you can think about a lot of instances in your life where you faced resistance around something. Maybe you left a job or a relationship and all of a sudden you stepped into something new and it was so much better than it was before. Consider those moments every time that you are navigating through contrast, that there is something better for you and that your soul knows that, and your soul's trying to bring you closer to that. But it can't bring you to that unless it shows you that where you are, what you're experiencing, who you're talking to, what you're dealing with is out of alignment with you. And so it is. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. It's an honor to spread these messages with you. Thank you once again for taking the time to expand your mindset, to develop your awareness, to heal yourself and nurture yourself, because as you heal and nurture yourself, you also heal and nurture the entire collective. I see you, I honor you, I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.